and James Grande.
What's going on, everybody? Jon Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into Fantasy Time NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. We got 5 games here on a Tuesday main slate. James, how we doing?
Doing well. It was an interesting Monday slate. It's going to be an interesting Tuesday slate because, John, we have the first, the only 250 implied point total we have had thus far. I'm assuming it may happen again when these two teams match up again, but Indiana and Atlanta, 250 open. It's actually been bet up pretty much across the board. It's already only a half a point, but still, just probably hours since the line opened. So, that is a total like unlike one we've ever seen. Because I don't recall the last time we saw a 250 total. If we've ever seen a 250 total, at least in recent memory, I don't remember it. So, it should be a very interesting. Should be a very interesting Tuesday slate. Just 5 games, a really solid slate. Not the best matchups overall, I would say, but 250 total really gets the juices flowing here, John.
250 total definitely gets the juices flowing here. Let's take a look at this 5-game slate here. Top plays on the slate: Embiid at 11.2, Halliburton 10.4, Durant 10K. We have both LeBron and AD at home against Utah, 9.997. So some star power on this slate, but you mentioned the 250 total. Star guards featured in this one with Halliburton at 10.4, Trae Young's at $9,100, and DeJounte Murray all the way back down to 8K here. People are going to be looking at game stack this one. Figure out a way to get exposure to Halliburton plus probably DeJounte, the popular duo there.
Yeah, and that's how my train of thought has been about that. It's if DeJounte is popular, I'm gonna play Trae Young. And 9,100 is pretty silly for Trae because again, we're in this stretch for Trae Young where he's not making shots, John. 46, 45, 48 fantasy points in 3 games that he shot below 40%.
Ridiculous free throw shooting here too, so that's good to see.
Right. And in the game where he goes 12 of 27, he still was ridiculous from the free throw line. And then you get the ceiling. So I think Trae Young is maybe my favorite play at this spend up point guard position. Like you have Devin Booker who ended up like kind of getting close to 5x there. But that is a 13.5 point spread in favor of the Suns who, take on Portland. And that is going to be
Malcolm Brogdon back for this game, not on the injury report.
Yeah, Malcolm Brogdon. It was like it went from is that what the recent update was? It went from questionable
that's what
to.
I saw on my. I think that's what the update was. No,
I think he is questionable unless they just came out and were like, "Nah, he's good."
I thought I saw that he was not on the injury report. Maybe
now questionable.
Okay.
So he's been upgraded. He's been upgraded to questionable. I listened to an interview that Brogdon did the other day on the broadcast, and he said he was very close to returning, just days away. So I still think that this game probably blows out, even with Malcolm Brogdon back. But
I agree.
I'm probably not.
Good to see him back.
Yeah, it's definitely good to see him back. Good to see him healthy again. But Halliburton, definitely recency bias. Maybe it keeps the ownership low. Maybe it doesn't because it's a 250 total. But the ceiling is obviously there. Trae Young, great play. And obviously, if you get to DeJounte Murray, you're probably happy about that too. I mean, he 3 games ago, he went for 60, 32, 10, and 5. So you can get to any of those top point guards and you'd be happy. And, I'm not going to – Tyrese Maxey ain't no slouch.
A little discount here. Maxey being above 9K the last couple of slates, now down to $8,800. So.
Yep, sure. It's obviously been a little different since the 50 burger.
Right.
He hasn't necessarily shot the ball really well. He's shot the ball well from 3, but he hasn't really shot the ball well from the field. But the shot attempts are still there. The assists are still there. And the minutes are just great. So I'm perfectly fine getting to Maxey.
Agreed. 100%. Moving on into this mid-tier range, you have Garland at $7,600. We mentioned Brogdon, D'Angelo Russell at $6,700. Dennis Schroeder, $6,400. Any interest in the mid-tier guys? Donovan Mitchell actually ruled out already, right?
Donnie Mitchell ruled out.
Garland's in a probably super interesting spot then.
Yeah, and potentially no Karis LeVert either,
Right.
who missed the last game. So I'm definitely down with some Darius Garland. He's lost out on some run. He lost out some run in the Denver game because of a blowout. We saw 36 minutes in competitive games like a week earlier. So you have to assume he's probably going to get an uptick from 33 minutes. So yeah, I'm definitely down. Garland's very safe in cash, and the scoring for the last couple games, right? 26 and 28 points for him. So that's
Mhm.
nice. It's good to see.
Yep, agreed. Value tier. Again, you have Schroeder. You have the Orlando guards. Marco Fultz, again, already ruled out. So Anthony Suggs in play here. Keontae George, $5,500. Colin Sexton's been a popular value play of late, coming through with the buckets off the bench. How you looking at this? Again, 5 games. So we're going to see some high rostership on a few of these guys here.
Yeah, I mean Schroeder, fine, right? Like he's kind of been really up and down for the last. I would say since he got off to that really good start, it's been an up and down run for Schroeder. This isn't the best spot overall, considering Orlando's a really good defensive team and they play really slow, but I'm okay getting there. Same thing with Melton. He continues to be really good. 36, 32, 28, 42 fantasy points for
Yep.
Anthony Melton in the last 4 games. Still under 6K. I think you get there. I'm definitely down to play some Cole Anthony. That Indiana game was just so ends in it was 12 to finish. It was like a 40 it was like a 40-point game in the third, and Cole
Yeah.
Anthony just didn't like we saw 37 minutes the game
That
before.
was only a
Maybe he
4-point spread, I think, in that game too.
Yep.
Like they
Yep,
they
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 housed
just
him.
blew them out.
Yeah, they housed him. But I'm definitely willing to go back to the Cole Anthony well in tournaments. Same thing with Jalen Suggs. Either Utah guards, fine. Like Keontae George, seemingly now in the starting lineup is pretty safe.
I mean, dude,
29,
another
29.
11 assists, 7 points on a 2 of 12 shooting
I
game. It's
know he
happened
can't.
twice now. Like, if he could just hit the, I keep saying, like, we're going to bet the double double, and one of these days it's going to come through because it's hard. 15-15, but get 6 and 7, 7 and 11, 7 11, 7 9. The double double's coming. It's coming at some point.
Dude, it's just like one of those things where you're
And
like,
he'll go for 40 fantasy points when he finally gets it, you know?
yeah, he will. I'm definitely down. I mean, this game has a pretty good 236, 7.5 point spread. You know, you worry a little bit about Utah traveling to the Lakers, but the Lakers haven't been like blowing teams out of the water at all. So I'm definitely down with Keontae. I think you bring up a good point about Sexton. He'll be on the floor if he makes shots, and even when he does, sometimes he gets taken off the floor. I mean, he went 6 of 13. He went 6 of 13 in 23 minutes for 18 points, and they're just like, nah, sorry, like THT is TH. We're gonna play THT over you, you
Yeah.
know. So
Well, THT did have a monster night.
fair,
So
fair. And then one more guy. We have to monitor the Craig Porter
I was going to
thing.
say Craig
If
Porter,
Karis,
right?
yeah, I'm gonna look up Popcorn Machine. He was firmly in the rotation to start the game, but I want to see how that game played out because it like based on blowout. If Craig Porter, let's see. So Craig Porter only played, eesh, 8 minutes in the first half, and then he played the final
Well, if LeVert and
17.
Mitchell are ruled out.
Well, they were both out last game.
Okay.
He played 8 first half minutes, and then he played the final 20 or the final 15 of the of in a
So what
blowout.
was their rotation then with LeVert and Mitchell out?
So they started
They play Wade?
Garland. They started Dean Wade, Garland, Strus, Mobley, Allen.
Yep.
Niang was the first one off the bench.
Okay.
Tristan Thompson, and then
I'm trying to figure out their guard rotation.
Porter and
Okay.
Sam Merrill were their two guards off the bench. They basically went immediately back to Garland and like starters. They
Okay.
gave them like a little run, and then Dean Wade came immediately back in the game. Jared Allen came right back in the game. Garland came back in the game.
Got it. Okay. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see what that lineup looks like, right?
Yep, for sure.
I mean, he seems to be against Detroit here, 16 minutes off the bench and was pretty efficient scoring.
He was.
So
He was. Yeah, I think it's
maybe
just
playing himself into some minutes possibly too.
Yeah, that could it's definitely a good point, John. I'm not saying like I don't think he could be an option. I'm just also wondering like he played the final 17 minutes in a game that was well in hand.
Sure.
Right? And like a game that Jokic didn't play the final 17 minutes or so. So just a thought. Just
sure.
a thought.
Moving on over then to the shooting guard position here. Again, we've talked Booker at 96. We know Mitchell's already out. DeJounte, we've discussed. Jordan Clarkson's getting the price bump like we've talked about. Now, we need to at least send that this was a double overtime game. Yes. He was not that good in this one, 8 of 23 shooting. And again, he missed a lot of shots there throughout. But he was nails.
Yes.
All those games beforehand. That starting lineup still hasn't changed. Walker Kessler, they said, still expected to be out another week or so. You still find the price tag to be okay here? I mean, he's scoring 30 actual for 3 of the last 5.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I mean, like, obviously the minutes are not great because you factor in double overtime. He plays 10 minutes, right? So he's only played like 30 in regulation. But we mentioned, are we going to get another THT, just absolute banger ceiling game? Right. Like, that's hard to
THT took all Clarkson's makeability. You know,
he sure did. I expect Clarkson against his old friends in LA to get that back. So perfectly fine going there.
Probably don't play Sharp with Brogdon back. Obviously, LeVert would be in play if he's in with Donnie Mitch out. Do you play Max Strus regardless of the fact?
You can. I mean, another 27 fantasy points in 32 minutes. He plays 37 to 39 minutes in competitive games, so it's a good eligibility. Yeah.
What I love about him this year is, I mean, again, he was a guy that gave you some press before, but like you're getting consistent rebounds, assists, and even some defense. I mean, you're not going to get 4 steals, but 1 steal, 1 block. You know, he's been pretty consistent, giving you the high floor games, right?
He has.
You know, that's been clutch because when the shots do fall, you get 40 fantasy points. You know.
Yep.
I like that price tag on a 5-game slate a lot for me.
Same.
How are you handling Toronto?
It's a bad spot for them. I'd probably just play Barnes or Siakam.
Okay. Any other guys down here in this 5K range? We talked obviously Melton and Anthony already. We have Austin Reeves for those here at $5,700. Coming off yet another good game. Only 18 minutes in that one against Portland, but 25 against Houston. 33 fantasy points there. So he's been pretty consistent, but we do know what the floor looks like for him.
I hate the minutes. I hate him. I hate the minutes. I liked the numbers coming off the bench, but I just
big pace up spot for them against Utah.
It is a good pace up spot. I'm not gonna poo-poo it. I like the position eligibility. 5,700 is a good price. Like, it's just.
Is this just like how many games of Atlanta and Indy do we jam into a lineup here?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Bojan at 56 feels a little bit expensive for a guy coming off the bench, but I mean, we know he's been pretty good. Buddy Hield coming off the bench is at 56. They don't even really give him the minutes that we would consistently enough to want to throw him in a lineup. Matherin's 53 here, same sort of thing. They just kind of like inconsistent playing time with Matherin in their wings.
His minutes are so infuriating. It's so infuriating that he doesn't play 30 minutes.
Right, just pick one guy. Can you just pick one guy for me? Play him 35 minutes, 30 minutes.
I know, no, for real, dude.
Or trade Buddy Hield. Like, how long are we gonna play the trade Buddy Hield game?
It's forever, literally until Buddy Hield retires. He's gonna be in Indiana just in trade rumors till the day he retires. Also, not chasing THT.
Okay. Gordon, Allen, any interest there?
I mean, I get Eric Gordon's ceiling game. Grayson was fine. He plays a lot of minutes, but
I mean, Eric Gordon's gonna start, right? So.
Yeah, I understand. Like him and they started Gordon, Allen, Booker, Durant, Nurkic. I just don't know how long this game stays competitive for.
Anybody else down here? It also is a revenge game for THT, by the way. So
it is a revenge game for THT. You know, if you're into the THT revenge narrative, by all means. What do you make of Jaden Springer playing 20 plus minutes in 3 straight games? He seems to have entered this Philly rotation. He's $3,300. 21, 22, 20 minutes the last 3 games for Jaden Springer. I know the Brooklyn game was a blowout for sure. But he played in Atlanta, like just straight up played in Atlanta.
Is this like because the Batum's been out, or?
Let us see when the first rotation for Springer was here. Springer, yeah, I guess you're right. He only played 6 minutes in the first half, so I probably passed for me. It was
no, you gotta check it out, man. You gotta see where these minutes are coming from. Small forward, you have LeBron here against Utah at $9,900. What more can you say about the guy?
Yes. And at this point, the questionable, like, this feels like it was last year, where him and Anthony Davis were questionable every slate.
It does suck that they're questionable every slate because they also play at 10 p.m. So like,
true. And this one, look at the times again. 7, 7:30, 7:30, 9, 10. But we have a pivot. We have pivots in this game because this is a very enticing game.
84.
Yep. Coming off a
ceiling game. Yep, you can. I know you mentioned playing Scotty Barnes. Would you play Scotty in this matchup against Orlando?
Probably not, but I'm just saying, like, that's what, like, this game is really tough to get to like want to get to. So
on a slate like this, like that game is less appealing to me.
It is 216.5. Magic are 1.5 point home favorites. It's just like we have a game for 250 points to play. Like, we don't need to mess around. I'm just saying, like, to be contrarian, Scotty and Siakam can get you 50.
Yep. Toby continues to give you some solid production at 7K. We've discussed already some of these Atlanta wings. We have DeAndre Hunter, dual eligibility at 49. Do they have Bay only a power forward now? Is that what we got going on
here? Yeah.
Bay 46, Jalen Johnson power forward only. Jalen Johnson also power forward only at 61. So we'll talk about them in a moment. Any other small forwards for you in the value or mid-tier range? I guess Niang probably gets some interest if everybody's out again.
Yeah, Niang could be interesting.
Game too for Georges Niang.
True. I don't look if Cam Reddish is going to play 39 or have the ceiling to play 39 minutes, John. I just have to accept that fact.
He's on the floor.
But he played 30. He's played 30 minutes in 3 straight, 4 or 5, and he's starting. It is what it is. Like, I don't want to necessarily go there. But
Torian Prince take 11 shots the other day, huh? Good for them.
Well, that's what did he do? 1 for 11.
It's just funny that they let him do that. On the flip side, Agbaji played 34 minutes and took 1 because he understands his role.
He
let
does.
Jordan Clarkson shoot.
If he's open, take it. If not,
play D.
Jordan Clarkson's down.
Yeah, down there somewhere. Exactly. All right. Anybody else for you at small forward?
No.
Power forward. KD is 10K against Portland. Siakam's $8,200. Bancaro 78. Where are we looking to spend our money in the top half of power forward here?
We're not. I don't know. I would love to play KD if I thought this game could stay remotely competitive, but I don't think it could stay remotely competitive. Siakam, 8,200 is too cheap. I'll say that. I think last time we saw this too cheap stuff, he went for 70. Obviously, this isn't Washington, but it is too cheap for Pascal Siakam. And then Bancaro, fine. He has a ceiling.
We talked about that. We don't like this game that much, so I don't really.
But this game is one of those. It doesn't feel necessary.
Probably just play Jalen Johnson at 61, and hope that they let him play the minutes and not like they did this game.
The one random game against Miami, yeah.
And John Bedham.
Yeah, he's been super good.
Great price. It's a great price. And then there's really not a lot of mid-tier depth. It goes him at 61, Collins 64, then dumps down under 5K where you have. Again, I like Saddiq Bey. I play him a lot. Like I'll keep playing Saddiq Bey here.
I would really. So I don't know if you mentioned Collins' name, but you didn't give him any thought. Was it because the Davis matchup? Because dude, he's been so.
No, he's been great. He had again. Now he actually had a pretty good overtime.
He did.
Watching that one
He
because
did.
I was begging for Clarkson points and just watching John Collins knock down all these threes. But yeah, hard to argue 3 straight double doubles. Now the matchups again: 2 Phoenix, 1 Portland. That's fine. But the AD ones matchup or LeBron matchup certainly, something to worry about. But I'm good paying there.
Yeah.
I think for me, more people probably play Jalen Johnson. So if you want to be a little different, you get John Collins in your lineup.
Sure. I agree.
And then again, Sadiq Bey will probably be super popular on a 5-game slate.
Yes, he will.
For
in a 3,000 point total.
Yeah, exactly. What do we talk Orlando? I mean, John Isaac had a 20-minute game here, had 35 fantasy points. So we know what his ceiling can be now.
Yeah.
Do we get a ceiling game? I don't know. Aaron Nesmith, one day he plays 30 minutes, then he plays 15. I guess that's going to have to throw like Obi Toppin probably in some conversations here. 37 down to 16. Like who plays what in this rotation here?
It's impossible. It's impossible. It's impossible to get. And honestly,
whoever guesses right though has the nuts, right?
Yep. Whoever guesses right has the nuts. And honestly, if you just don't feel comfortable guessing, just go play Jabari Walker, who's going to be playing 20 plus minutes in a blowout. And once again, 25 fantasy points.
I've been playing Jabari Walker forever.
So. You played Jabari Walker, yeah.
Almost every slate I played Jabari
before
Walker.
It was cool.
More often than not, it's worked. So
it has. Would you play the ceiling? Would you chase the ceiling Dean Wade game?
Probably not, but I mean,
everyone has to be out. Everyone has to be out.
Yeah,
right?
10 rebounds is unlikely to happen against Philly, I would assume.
Would you play the ceiling Chris Boucher game?
I would love to, but you can't trust that one either.
He's playing.
I mean, you have Wagner here. What's Hachimura been up to these days? 32 minutes for Hachimura? Like, I'd play that.
Well, the Davis was in big foul trouble and fouled out of that Houston game.
And he played 20 against Portland.
True. That's true. The rotate, and that was directly correlated to Austin Reeves not playing. I can't figure out what the hell the Lakers are doing with their rotation. It's really tough to like love anything just based on their rotation.
Sure. Let's go to center. Let's have some fun.
Okay.
JoJo is 11-2. AD
sure
is $9,700. Those are your top 2 guys. And then you have some fun. Does Miles Turner get in foul trouble in this game? What do you think happens?
More often than not, he does get in foul trouble.
We have 3 of our favorite centers, basically. Miles Turner is 71.
Yep.
Agonku is 47. Jalen Smith is 42.
Jalen Smith, 42.
I like playing all of these guys at every time. Jalen Smith less than the others, but we do throw Jalen Smith in some lineups. Would it shock you if tomorrow you see Aneki Agonku at like monster rostership here?
Nope. Would it shock you to see both him and Jalen Smith just monster ownership? Like if both of them were just like 20+%? Because like Davis, people don't play, especially with like you could just play LeBron for 2 or more if you're playing a Laker.
Right.
He's been better lately. Not saying AD doesn't have a ceiling, but LeBron's just objectively been better. Right. You can play Embiid for 11-2, but he has a really tough matchup. Not that it matters because Embiid doesn't matter if he has a tough matchup or not. But like Turner's going to get a lot of ownership, and then the cheap centers probably get a lot of ownership, right? Yep. That's probably just like the way that it shakes out. So
you do have the Nurkic revenge game here. And I guess on the flip side, you have the 8 revenge game here.
I would say I feel like it matters more for 8 because he like commented on it a lot. Sure. He was like super weird about the whole thing.
Capella could just mess around and have a ceiling game.
He's been kind of the guy lately, right? 29, 26, 27 minutes. He's been just playing more than Nyeka the last 3 games. So yeah. I mean, would you be against playing? Honestly, I wouldn't be against playing Capella either in this spot because he's been good.
Would not be against it. You could throw Kellyo in a GPP if you want. Goga will match up against Pirtle here.
Yep.
We don't talk enough about Goga because we kind of like all the backups. But
we do like the backups more than we like Goga for sure.
But he's out there and he produces when he's on the floor. He's a fantasy point per minute monster. So
he does. He does.
All right, let's get a lineup going here. I guess we start with what, Halliburton? Do we try to pick Halliburton
Trae,
and Trae here?
probably fit Halliburton and Trae. That feels like the play.
And then I guess we go.
Well, Sadiq Bey,
Yeah.
for sure. That's our power forward play.
Yeah.
Because 4,600 value
Cheap.
feels good.
Let's see. Shooting guard here. Sexton at 45. Just gonna score. So Sexton. So we have 53-50.
I was gonna say either probably, dude. We're just stacking this game. I was gonna say either we just go one of the centers in Atlanta, Indiana. If we could get Turner, that would be ideal. But if not, just Clint Capella feels underpriced.
We'll try Gonku here first.
Okay.
Small forward. I still like Struss here.
Yep.
You can overrule me if you like, but I think
no, I know, dude. No, I think Max Strus is a very fine player.
Yeah, very nice gentleman. He is.
He's a good player. He's good solid player, right? I mean, that's what he really is.
We punted Niang. Is that too risky for you?
No, it would be less risky if Karis LeVert doesn't play.
Sure.
Because then I think if you wanted to punt someone, you could just punt Porter in that case. But obviously,
what's weird is this game is a 250 total, and I can't tell you what other pacer to play.
Well, that's because it's essentially Miles Turner or bust.
Is it Bruce Brown doesn't even get enough consistent play?
I know. Well, so the last game is just a fluke. Last game was a complete torching. Halliburton only played 20-something minutes. Sure. So I'm just Xing
is it Matherin then? Who do you? I mean, Matherin's shown 50 fantasy point or 40, high 40 ceilings here.
I mean, I would say of the other Indiana guys, second is Turner if he can stay out of foul trouble. But obviously, that's also $7,100. So we're looking for someone cheap.
If we did Turner, we'd have 3,900 for
you know who it could be. And we didn't talk about this.
Sorry, dude. If it's
no, you know who we didn't talk about?
Who?
TJ McConnell. Nembhard didn't play last game, and he's questionable for this game. And TJ McConnell is $4,300. Dude, he is kind of one of those dudes who gets on the floor.
Yep.
And I'm trying to look to see if we got any overlapping TJ McConnell Halliburton. We did in the first quarter. We got McConnell and Halliburton on the floor together.
Okay.
For 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Just throwing that out there. If that game stays competitive in the second half, maybe we get more Halliburton and TJ McConnell on the floor together. If McConnell's playing well.
Okay.
We know he's a freak fantasy point per minute producer.
Yeah, no arguments here.
So if there's no Nembhard, maybe something to monitor. Because I don't even think McConnell, I just had it up. I don't think he closed. He played until the 5-minute mark. So, one of those things. Just
sure.
I don't know.
Sure. Sure. If we just took out Trae with DeJounte, we have a 5K. Other than that, though, I'm totally fine. What was that? Bay, Murray. I guess do we just do this? I guess if we went Trae over DeJounte over Trae.
Turner Ngongwu. Yeah, I like the Turner Ngongwu if that's what the
Otherwise, it's Jabari Walker and Trae Young, which still could be fine. I mean, Jabari Walker's been giving you kind of what Ngongwu has gone, but we've just seen a little bit of a ceiling at times from Ngongwu here. So
what if you did just messed around? I'm not trying to poo-poo on your Maxters.
No, dude, that's
just going down to Reddish, or you could play Niang at the small forward. Yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, I don't want to play. I don't want to. I don't like playing Cam Reddish anyway. We don't have to. I don't like playing Cam Reddish anyway.
Yeah, it's good if you really wanted to.
No, I don't. Honestly, I don't like playing Cam Reddish anyway.
Let's see. If we need Capella here, I don't need double up. What was my guard play there? It was DeJounte.
DeJounte, and then
64 util if we use Capella. Guess Sean Collins or Jalen Johnson goes four.
Ooh.
I mean, are we opposed to 4 Atlanta? I mean,
it's
probably not, right? On 5 games,
it's a 250 total, dude. It's a 250 total.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
You do not see 250 often.
And like some of these guys don't play together anyways. Like Bay comes in for Johnson, so it's just like keeping the seat warm for him, you know.
And they play together.
Yeah.
Like if DeAndre Hunter is going to continue to struggle like he has, he played 18 minutes last game. DeAndre Hunter.
I know because he has been awesome.
Yeah, and he wasn't in foul trouble. He had 9 points, 1 rebound, and was just not good. So
I'm just saying in the last game that these guys all played together, Capella had 40, Johnson had 40, Bay had 30, DeJounte kind of sucked. He had 20. But, you know.
Trae, well, that's because Trae had almost.
Trae had all the shots.
Well, Trae missed all the shots, but he had 50. Like
Well, he missed the shots, but he had 11 free throws. That's the one thing that I think is concerning me with Ben Mather. Remember last year how often he was getting to the free throw line?
Yeah, he's not.
He's just not taking a lot of free throws anymore.
You think that's the Halliburton being so active?
Maybe
thing?
Possibly.
Is that a Halliburton correlation?
I don't know. I do like that Miles Turner lineup we built though.
I do too. I think Miles Turner. I will on a slate like this. I would love to get to Miles Turner because he has a 50-point ceiling.
All right, this gives us Okonkwo, Murray, Bay with Turner and Halliburton, or if we wanted to get to Trae again, if Trae.
Dude, like look at these fantasy points for Miles Turner. Like he even like in these games he does not stay out of foul trouble, but like even in the 27 fantasy points, 23 minutes, 24 fantasy points, 19 minutes, 36 in 29. Like he is just such a freak fantasy point per minute producer. If he just stay out of foul trouble, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Just once. It's not gonna be. Of course, it's not gonna be in the game of the 250 total. He's gonna have,
right.
But maybe that's the reason you go to Jalen Johnson or Jalen Smith. Jalen Smith, not Jalen Johnson.
Could be. All right, those are just some example lineups for everybody here for this 5-game slate. We'll have the playbook out. We'll be in the Discord. If you guys have any questions, you can all find us there. Good luck. We'll be back 5 o'clock Eastern time for the live show. Good luck with your early roster builds, and we'll catch you guys later.